Hey guys, and welcome back to Ravenswatch. Today I want to talk about the Snow Queen. She's in my top 3 of heroes that I like. She's really grown on me over time as I've used her more and more, and just the way she plays, I've increasingly found to be very fun. So I would put her in my top 3 heroes. Now, that being said, there are some things that don't really feel super great about her, and I know a lot of people that I've seen online, anyways, you know, talk about being kind of bad. Things that just don't really feel good, need tweaks, need buffs, things like that. Now, for a little bit of kind of I guess, context in a way, this is still in the early access. Chapter 2 hasn't come out yet. It should be here in the next month and a half or something. And who knows when that comes out, maybe some or all or things might get tweaked, or maybe the developers are pretty okay with where she's at. So I'll just have to get over it, which is fine. If that's what they choose, that's what they choose. I do still enjoy playing her. I think she's fine. She is a good hero, even though there are some things I don't necessarily like, but that's how it is about all the guys. I should also note that, I'm not a developer in any way, shape, or form. I don't really balance, test, and make games, nothing like that, right? All of this is just purely my opinion and ideas, opinions, things like that, right? The biggest thing I could say that I have going for me is playing freaking Dungeons and Dragons for years and years and years and making encounters and things to work with for players and getting the feel for, hey, this is going to work, or no, this is going to be really bad. But we'll touch on some of her stuff real quick, and then I'll just do some gameplay. Really, the biggest thing with her abilities is the difference between night and day. Literally, day and night. It's kind of night and day. So during the day, a bunch of her abilities do more damage, and then at night, they have lingering effects. So for example, her trade ability, where she skates around, it deals damage during the day, and at night, it leaves a trail of cold. Her power during the day deals damage and applies chilled, and at night, it just applies a chilled and leaves a chill area of effect. And then her ultimate, her first one, Frost Ray, is actually affected as well, which I didn't specifically remember. I'd noticed it happen, but I didn't really know, oh yeah, this is actually a thing. So during the day, it deals more damage, and then at night, it leaves a little frost effect for 6 seconds. I like the idea of this. I think day-night interactions between abilities and stuff are awesome. I think it's really cool. That being said, when it is night, she has 1 ability for chilling, 2 ability for chilling, and 3 abilities for chilling. Out of her basic non-ultimate kit, 3 of her 4 active abilities chill targets and deal no damage, where she has to then rely on just auto attacks and her special. Whereas during the day, her trait can deal damage while chilling, her attacks will capitalize on the chill, her power will deal damage and chill, her ice shatter, her special, shatters all the chill guys, and then her gust of cold, her defense, chills people. So it's you can end up without the right upgrades, her nighttime effects are just not amazing. And it's because they're just superfluous. Every other thing I do on there applies chilled, but I don't need it to, because the trail I left from skating in on her trait leaves a trail of cold, so they're just constantly chilled anyways. So when I do the Frost Blast, it's not doing anything else for me because they're already chilled. There's already an effect on the ground that chills them. And the defense, I can use the defense to avoid the damage, and then it chills them, except, they're already kind of chilled. And so then I'm stuck using my Shatter, which does damage, but then I have to wait for the cooldown, and my Ice Lance, her basic attack. Which it's good so that I can constantly be attacking people and they're always chilled, so I'm always getting that bonus damage to chilled targets. But at the same time, during the day, I can still make that work by just alternating the abilities. I don't have to just rely on having a big... It's just extra. It's extra, and it doesn't necessarily feel good. So something has to get kind of tweaked there. I'm not entirely sure exactly what they could do. My only thought would be almost stagger the two, it shifts so that the day frost does the damage and it lingers for a little bit, like 3 seconds, and then Night Frost lasts for 6 seconds and deals like some damage, you know, like, so there's like a halfway point, so you're still dealing damage with your abilities at night, but you are still getting a lingering effect that makes them different and unique. And the daytime, you know, the bad thing with that is then your daytime effects are just even more powerful, which, I mean, I don't necessarily think needs to happen. It doesn't need to, but, you know, I'm not entirely sure what to do there, other than to maybe just tweak the Night Frost so that it still does some damage. Maybe you just tweak Night Frost so it does a little bit of damage, but then lasts a little bit of time. Yeah, I don't know. And then we got some of her upgrades, right? So her starting upgrades, Dual Lances is just like the winner. Like if it pops up on your options, like that's the one you're gonna take, because it's just too strong. It's so strong, and I don't necessarily want them to nerf it because it's a lot of fun to use. And like I don't necessarily agree with the idea of like nerfing a bunch of abilities in a like cooperative PvE game. There's definitely times to do it, but for the most part, I think the better option is to make the other things stronger so that it competes with a really strong option. But the Dual Lances is just freaking phenomenal. It's insane. But then you got Windy Lances, or Windy Lances, whatever it is. That one needs some love, man. It's by far the weakest choice. Like, I take it because it's fun, and I like taking choices just because they're fun. There's nothing wrong with that, and I absolutely win even when I take it. But it needs some help. And I have 2 ideas for that. Because what it does is your attacks will curve to seek out targets, and the duration will reset whenever they hit an enemy up to 3 times. So basically, like, when you throw out the attack, you can watch it kind of like curve around and hit targets that you're not necessarily lined up to do, because their attack pierces targets. So you can hit guys that you're not normally going to be able to because you're not lined up to actually pierce them correctly. That being said, you know, it still has a maximum range it can go. Even though it resets, it just resets its seeking. And it's hit and miss, man. Sometimes the like tracking is really good and it just really seeks out and hits guys really wonderfully. And then other times it just seems to just kind of loop and do nothing. So it's like, eh. So my 2 thoughts to like maybe make it better. One is like really simple, and just like also add in an attack damage increase. Like make it so yes, it seeks him out, and now your attacks deal like 15% more damage or something, right? It still won't necessarily compete with Dual Lances because that's basically 100% damage increase. That maximum range reduction is not much of anything. Like you're already really close half the time anyways, and so that part is minimal. Yeah, you don't have to worry about that. So I think just like a small damage boost to her attacks with this upgrade wouldn't be ridiculous. I don't think so, but maybe I'm wrong. And then my other thought is make it so the range actually resets. So if you can really snipe guys from a far distance. So if I'm pretty far away, I shoot out the Windy Lance, it pierces through guys, and then it can curve, seek out more guys, and still go further. Because a lot of times the enemies are too far apart, so it reaches its maximum distance before it can even really curve around a whole bunch. So that could be an idea. You could run into the issue where it basically just starts like going and going and going super far, and you don't want that. So there has to be some kind of like limit, I'm sure. That's my basic idea there. Her Ice Clone is just good. It's good. There's nothing wrong with it, really. Like, it's hard everything's hard competition against Dual Lances, but yeah. Ice Clone, solid. Distracts people, you can see it happen. You know, it works. And then Freezing Shatter, her quest, is also solid, you know? It's a damage increase, and then it makes a special even stronger and reapply the chilled, so it becomes very strong during the day. The one downside with it is that it's, again, kind of superfluous with her nighttime effects, because yeah, it reapplies chilled, but if all of my abilities are leaving chill effects on the ground, they're already re-chilled anyways, so it doesn't need to happen. So that's not an issue with this upgrade, it's just an issue with the way her nighttime effects kind of work. And that being said, with windy lances, that's kind of part of why this one feels a little bad, is sometimes you can see it doing a lot of work for you, but then other times you don't see it doing anything really. Whereas the other three things, very clear effects happening. Ice clone, you can clearly see enemies going for the ice clone. Dual lances, you can see the double hits happening. You can see how much of a damage boost it is. And the freezing shatter, like you can see your attack stat increase. You can see your special dealing more damage and reapplying chilled. And then it synchronizes really well with some of our other upgrades. So you can see really good effects coming out of these three upgrades, where this one, not so much. So it just doesn't give you that great visual feedback, And for the rest of her like standard upgrades, they're all generally pretty good. Her defense dealing damage is really nice. It helps offset her nighttime thing. Lance Burst is probably the weakest one because like I play on a keyboard, and this upgrade is based on what direction your character is facing. So a lot of times the direction I'm facing and the way I'm like clicking and attacking doesn't sync up. So when I activate my special, I'm like facing completely away from the enemy, so my attack cone goes out in the complete wrong direction. That being said, I think it works really well with this one because you can suddenly shoot off a whole bunch of attacks that all seek enemies out. So I think those two together are really strong, and it's really the only time I do take this, because otherwise I think every other upgrade beats it out in my mind. So maybe it needs to maybe the attacks need to go in the direction your mouse cursor is going, like for people playing in mouse and keyboard. I've not really messed with it on controller, so maybe it's not so much an issue there. The Cold Heart, the extra crit chance is just really good. This one is really good for your nighttime builds because you do constantly have people chilled, so it is stronger with their nighttime thing. That's a good positive there. Hailstorm, the power just leaving extra waves of ice is great. Makes her daytime power really devastating. It actually adds damage to her nighttime one, which is nice. Defense getting a shield is just solid choice, especially because it works in a team setting, Frost Surge is iffy. It's iffy, man. It's very situational. You can be in a very dangerous spot when you try to use it, so you have to make sure that your positioning is really good, or you have a very clear opportunity to charge up your abilities to use it to its full effect. That being said, charging up a daytime power, it can deal huge amounts of damage. It's really incredible, and especially if you synchronize it with some other upgrades and stuff, you can deal a huge amount of burst damage. Now, the downside with it is not even necessarily with the upgrade itself. It's because, again, the nighttime effect of her abilities is it's just extra. So now it gains a bigger radius, but I don't really need a bigger radius because for the most part, I'm already catching people. They're already getting chilled by all kinds of things already, because 75% of my abilities apply chilled and leave a chill effect on the ground. So it doesn't really do much for the nighttime thing. Slide is interesting. I hardly take it because I have a hard time controlling it the way I want to go, and that's probably because I'm using the mouse and keyboard, where if I was on the controller, I would more easily slide in the direction I want to go, whereas right now I tend to go in a direction that I'm not ready to go. Sort of the same issue I have with Lance Burst, where I'm facing a direction I'm not actually trying to do, and so it doesn't work out super well. But just having another dodge ability that actually gives you intangible and increase your radius is nice. The trait Frost radius increase that was a good addition they added to it, because before I believe it was only intangible, which was okay. So on the whole, a decent upgrade. It's just a little iffy on mouse and keyboard. Frost exposure is huge. That can be a great team play ability because now everybody can capitalize from enemies being vulnerable. It also works incredibly well with her dual lances because you're getting 2 attacks out, and so if you're making them vulnerable and they're chilled, you're doing 100% more damage on your basic attacks, and each basic attack you deal shoots off 2, so it's just an incredible boost. Shattering Blast is pretty amazing. I really like it. It adds a huge amount of burst potential to her power, and if you synchronize it with her Freezing Shatter one, her Freezing Shatter quest increases her special damage by 20%. This one increases your shatter damage by 20%, so you're getting 40% more damage on your shatter, and it's just another way to shatter guys. So you can like slide in, shatter them with this quest ability, and it'll reapply chilled, and then immediately hit them with another power, which will shatter them again. And if you're during the day, it's another bit of power damage. Like, it's just a huge amount of burst damage. It's a freaking phenomenal combo, and that's part of why I really like the Snow Queen, is because so many of her like upgrades and abilities make these great like combinations and sick like AoE damage and things. It's just really fun. And then the last upgrade we have right now is Frost Queen. During the day, her Frost deals even more damage, and her Night Frost lasts 3 seconds longer. So I mean, the Day Frost dealing more damage is just good, because I mean, you just deal more damage. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. It's just good, right? But the Night Frost just lasting longer, it's just extra. It's just adding the same effect on top of the same effect I already have going on with half her abilities. So this is one I think this one should probably be tweaked some way. And I personally, so like I suggested or was thinking about earlier, where her basic ability day and night interactions should be kind of like half and half between each other. I think that would be a good choice for this. Like, make this upgrade so that now her Day Frost will linger, which is again just a straight upgrade for the Day Frost, because now you've got a more easily applied chill effect. And then make her Night Frost deal damage, and I think that would be good. Honestly, I think that would be a great compromise for this power. But again, you know, who knows? Maybe that's not what the developers want. They probably have their own ideas going on. Maybe some of them are sort of the same. Maybe some of them aren't. I don't know, man. Dude, I'm just a guy. Well, let's play a game. Let's do some. Maybe I'll rant a little bit more while I take different upgrades and shenanigans. All right, our first upgrade. Look at that. See, dual lances. So I want to take the Freezing Shatter because I like doing that. But also the dual lances, it's just so good. It's just an immediate 100% damage increase on your auto attacks. And when you have them chilled, right now, let's look at my damage on this skill. Attack. Shoots out a lance that deals 20 damage and pierces. So when they're chilled, it's going to do 50% more damage. So when they're chilled, my auto attack will do 30 damage. Now if I take this first upgrade, suddenly I'm shooting out 2 attacks that are doing 30 damage. So right away at level 1, I can be doing 60 damage and a single auto attack. It is a huge upgrade. It's huge, right? Whereas opposed to the Freezing Shattered one, my special is going to deal 25% more damage, and then I'm also going to get a total of a 10% like damage increase. So now it's going to do like a quarter more damage. So you're looking at like 60 damage. Like, it's such a hard thing to choose. I'm gonna go ahead and take Freezing Shatter. It's a rare upgrade, and you know, I find it a lot of fun. Now, because this video is kind of long already, I've gone on for a long time kind of ranting. I'm gonna maybe see if I can't do like a really quick run like I did before, where I tried to beat the boss as fast as possible. We're gonna trade across. I don't need to be doing this fight if that's what I'm doing. I'm gonna collect these things, but I want to be trying to collect my quest as fast as possible. So like this, shatter a bunch of them there. We managed to dodge that ghost dash attack with our special ability because we have invulnerability frames on them. That's something that, you know, should definitely be said about her, is a bunch of her abilities have iframes. Her special has iframes. Her defense has iframes. And then, you know, if you take that other upgrade for her trait, that gives you iframes. So you do have a good amount of options to be defensive and avoid attacks, which works out really well because, you know, she is kind of a close ranged hero. Her attacks can be rather short ranged, especially when you take the dual lance ability. So the ability to avoid a bunch of things is fantastic. I did take a big hit there, which is really unfortunate, but that's gonna be okay. Shatter again, keeping some distance. We're gonna trade across. See, just dealing damage is fantastic. Like, you wouldn't be, like, that extra damage we dealt with that ability, we wouldn't have that at night. Those guys wouldn't have died, like, guys wouldn't be staggered like the way they are. And you can see already just how often we are, like, chilling guys, even though we don't have a lingering effect. And so now, when we move into the night, you should be able to see a difference. And we'll take Frost Queen, and I'll give it a go. Plus, I haven't won with that one. So now you see this is lingering around. I'm taking a big hit there because I circled back around. And they are automatically chilled again, which is really good. But now, see, we're just stuck on using auto attacks to try and deal damage, right? Straight there, bam. And with that thing, I mean, I don't even need to use, like, my power to apply the chill, because my trait ability just left such huge, long-lasting chill effects. It wasn't needed. It's just not needed, man. So from here, we're gonna get this Vitality Fountain, and then we're gonna kind of trait and skate on over to this first item, see what it is, and then hopefully not get messed up by these guys. Guess we'll do this real fast. Go around like this, drop a power. It's gonna kind of work like we do with the Pied Piper special, where we want to have like a zone and kind of skate and like kite guys into it, and then attack them through there, right? Defense to avoid his thing. Shatter again. It's a triple shatter, which is great. Now we can throw down the power again now, and then just keep frosting them up and auto attacking. Yeah, so I think once we do this one, we're going to go over for that Grimoire, get some XP so we can try and hit level 5 really quickly. Activate a Shatter now. Slice across. See, we could use our power now for more damage, but we don't do damage. It's just going to chill guys. And guess what? They're already chilled. I don't need them to be chilled again. I also didn't get another tick on my quest done because I didn't have 3 people frosted up, which stinks a little bit. Let's try and finish this guy quick like. Oh, God. Come on. 34 damage on an auto attack is very solid, especially one that pierces. Let's do... Well, we'll take this for a little bit more damage for Vitality. Though I think maybe what I should have done was actually take the Sandman's prices being reduced, and then we could have gotten a bunch of nice things from there. Now, doing this during the night may be a little bit harder because we are doing less damage. And especially with these pigs, we kind of want the daytime to, like, AoE, like, shatter them down. We're going to dodge that thing with our defense. Dash through, but of course we don't have the iframe, so it's kind of unfortunate. Now we're going to dash around again, getting a bunch of them, shatter a whole bunch of them. And see, just like this, like, now I'm just stuck, like, they're just chilled. I don't need them to really be chilled anymore. It's just... And now I'm just stuck trying to auto attack, you know? Go ahead and trade around. Oh, that was really close. I knew it was going to be close. I was putting myself in a pretty bad spot. We've got 10 seconds left and we're still fighting these dudes. Dodge him with our defense, shatter them. Now he's exploding, so maybe that'll help us to finish him just in time. All right, let's take that XP. Might be enough to level us up. There it is. Defense dealing damage. I kind of want to take that one just to show you guys. That's what I'll do. Normally, I would take the defense to deal damage. Because, again, it's just going to help us out at night. Because that's where we're struggling right now. Like, without those upgrades to our nighttime abilities, it's just so much harder to deal damage. You could see how long it took us to do that Grimoire. We're going to try and lure a bunch of these guys in like this. Dodge them with our defense and then shatter. And then what we're going to do is, I don't know, try and put ourselves in a good spot. Charge, charge, charge. Boom. There was some good damage. Not bad. I think a bigger radius on the daytime one would be pretty sweet, actually. Yeah, you got to be careful, you know. You're going to get caught by that back sweep on the scythe guys. Moving around. We're going to activate our power here, get a lot of big charge damage. That was a lot of damage. I pulled out a lot, but if you notice, anytime I try to, like, really capitalize on the full charge, I end up taking some kind of a hit. And that would lead me to think, like, okay, wait until there's, like, a very clear opening to do it, you know? Wait until it is some other, like, time period, like, on a boss, right? During the boss's, like, damage phase, when he's stunned, use it then. But then the issue is, I'm stuck there charging it up for so long that I could probably have done just as much, if not more damage, just by using all of my other abilities and auto attacking, because her auto attacks just do so much damage. So it's a hard thing to get the balance right for. Alright, so we got another item camp here. Normally I would, like, if I'm trying to do this fast run, I've been trying to do the, like, pig quest really quick. But I don't see where it's at, so I'm not going to really spend my time to go around trying to find it. Now we go here. We're going to charge this way up. That was a good opportunity. It burst both of those guys down. We're going to need to dodge. Nope, we're not going to dodge him. There we go. It's going to help. We're going to skate through him as he tries to do an attack on us. Move away and just shatter him now. And then keep auto-attacking while he's chilled. Our quest is done, so we are getting that sweet bonus damage, or that reapplied and bonus damage to our chill. Or not our chill necessarily, but the power effect. So now our next item is special deals more damage. We're going to take that because our special is already dealing more damage. So if we could get some kind of item that, like, increases or, like, gives us charges or reduces the cooldown, I think those would be fantastic choices. We haven't had to use a Raven's Feather yet, which is really good. Wait for that, and now we're going to charge this up. Now, I will say, look at that radius. That radius on that ability is so ridiculous. It is really crazy when you look at it. Big Shatter, 142 damage. We're going to dodge his attack wizard defense. Or we'll just kill him and finish them off just like that. Yeah, I will give that for the Frost Queen effect during the night. Like, it's such a huge circle. Like, you catch pretty much everybody in it. Option here. Let's go to the Sandman. Let's get some upgrades. That way we can actually win this fight. And then we will get several upgrades. It's going to give us 3. So what I can do is 1. So that's going to be 1, 2, 3. So I do both of these, and then I should get 3 legendary upgrades. That's the wrong one. I wanted the other site. Oh no, I did do that one. Weird. It looked like I clicked. It looked like I clicked on that one. Yeah, the map interaction is just, it needs a little bit more working, I think. Here we go. Let's start charging up our power now. We're going to get a big, huge radius. A bunch of guys are chilled. Activate it now. Move, kind of dodging some dudes, and start cutting across as much as we can, using our trait to reposition ourselves into a better spot. Big Shatter again. We're going to dash over here. Get rid of that dude so there's less to actually deal with. Power up a whole bunch to get a big radius. Dodge things as much as possible. Shatter them. Oh, we need to move now. It's unfortunate. Move to avoid his attack. There we go. That chill effect is lasting so long. It's crazy. Not a bad fight, though. Got caught there for a second. That could have been really ugly. And now we have 3 upgrades. So now our Shatter's dealing an extra 35% more damage. So that's not bad. So each, like, rarity upgrade on this increases its damage by 5%. Maybe what would make it better is if you just, like, increase the base number, because, like, the common value is 20%. So maybe if you just started at 25% and then this got pushed to 40, I would definitely really consider taking this over dual lances then. But I don't know. This doing 70% more damage, that's a huge increase on that Day Frost damage. And Night Frost lasting 6 seconds longer. I mean, it's already lasting, it lasts 12 seconds, dude. 18 seconds of a chill effect. That's insane. That's crazy. And then this, and I mean this, 35% more damage, plus another 70%. So her power right now is doing another 105% more damage. 140 damage. That's a lot of damage, dude. Like, if you fully charge it. So actually, no, hold on. So right now, it does 70% more damage. So it's at 140. I'm assuming it's already adjusted. But then if we charge it up, we get another 35% more damage on that. So, like, another, what, like 50 damage almost? That's a lot. And then it's going to last it's going to last for 18 seconds at a ginormous radius. That is pretty crazy. A lot of her abilities do start stacking up pretty crazy when you get them. All right, skating around these guys. We're going to go ahead and just shatter them now. Start auto-attacking through both of them just like this. He's going to stagger before he can do any damage, and then we get rid of all them. Move. They're melee, so he has to actually get in close to me. And look, they're still chilled. Like, we still have that chill effect. I did, like, one ability to chill them, and then that was it. I didn't have to do anything else, which is why her nighttime effects kind of stink. It's because I don't need all the extra chill effects. We're going to do a big circle like this. Boom. Now let's see how long this lasts. Like, that guy is going to try and hit us there. Shatter all of them. It reapplied it. We're going to dodge his acid with a little defense there. Unfortunately, dude, look, it was still on the ground. Isn't that crazy? Up 4, drop this now. If we'd waited just a second longer, we would have actually gotten the daytime effect. We're going to chill them here with our shatter. Bam, bam. Healing orbs over there. There's lots of guys. Now we get help and finish them with our trait. Like, see how great that is? We just killed them with our trait. We would have had to have auto-attacked or used our special for the nighttime effect in order to finish those guys off. That's just such a shame. Charge it up to see how much damage we do. It just absolutely blew them up. Defense applies vulnerable. Ooh, power. 4 waves of ice strike the area and deal damage. Now, one thing to think about with this. Our nighttime charged effect is going to have a huge radius. So will this affect a huge radius? I'm not completely sure, and if it's yes, that will be pretty crazy. So we'll see. See how much damage our full power does here. Pretty good amount of damage. Now, if you fully charge that hailstorm one, you end up sitting a lot of waves at the enemy. It's pretty crazy. Power deals more damage. Or we could do the vitality for magic items. Let's do the power, because our power is already pretty pumped up a bit. Now, I want to hit level 5 so that I can go and take on the Master Nightmare. So maybe we'll do this Tumor. Tumors give us a good amount of XP, and it's going to weaken the boss, so I feel like we're more likely to win at an early fight. So here we go. Let's go ahead and start charging this up to try and blow this guy up immediately. Dodging. We're going to trait through him, move, shatter both of them. Defense to try and avoid them, and then we cut across all 2, maybe 3 of them. Oh, just 2. That's fine. Dodge, and then power. Shatter, trying to avoid some damage, which we didn't do very well. We had too long of a recovery on the power, so that even when we tried to use our shatter ability to get some immunity frames, just wasn't quite enough. Dashing through them. We're going to trait to go around. Ooh, we managed to avoid that just barely, which is huge. Power this way up. Finished both of them. That charged power is really growing on me. You really do just have to get the right situation in order to, like, utilize it. We're going to push them back. Get ready to dodge this dude, except we were a little slow doing it. Charge us up to try and finish him. We were in a bad spot there because we were getting hit by the poison, so that was a bummer. And our trait managed to stagger that dude, dodging away from the little spider and push him back with our defense. Do a shatter to get rid of some of them. Ooh, we're barely alive. We're going to collect this healing globe using our trait. Shatter, power, and we're good. There we are. We want this to go away, please. Thank you. Alright. So we took a lot of damage there at the end, which was really unfortunate. That's kind of just my fault, you know. I was hoping to find a healing fountain. There's always things that kind of spawn around the perimeter. So, like, healing fountains or, like one of those, what do you call them? Or, like, dream shard little things. That was a lot of damage on that poor little cultist dude. I say poor cultist, but they are awful. Shatter both of them. Try and finish him. We're going to avoid that rock from the dude down there below us because we're really low. We just don't need that extra damage. Dodge forward. Defense trying to avoid him a little bit. Ooh, barely alive. Power. Oh, right. Because, you know, it's nighttime now. So, of course, we didn't kill anything. Though, like I said, having the little hailstorm waves is really helpful. Okay. This is going to be an ugly fight. We're probably going to go down. But you never know. You never know. We're going to get ready to dodge both of their attacks with our defense. And actually, right here, we're going to charge this up. It does. It hits that huge area, man. That's pretty awesome. Ooh, we circled back around because I wanted to catch everybody. But I should have known the Scythe Pig was winding up an attack. We're going to shatter even though they're going to start winding up an attack on us right away. Dodging out. Keep some distance for a second. Charge, charge, charge. And then boom. Watch it do some damage. Shatter them all. Boom, boom, boom. Get rid of all the little spiders. Move around him. And we're going to use our trait and just kind of go on the other side of him, shatter both of them, fully charge this. There we go. Lots of extra damage. That is pretty cool. I do like that. That is nice. And here's our level 5. We will take the Frost Ray. Bam. And then collect this. And now we will go for the Master Nightmare. I have 138 Dream Shards, actually. I should go and talk to Sandman. So something just kind of crossed my mind. With the next chapter coming out, they are also adding in more upgrades and the like. So, while I'm complaining about some of the day and nighttime things, that may completely change with the introduction of some new upgrades. Because like we're seeing right here, right? This upgrade right here, where our nighttime power gets a huge radius, it synchronizes really well with this, where you can do a huge amount of area damage. So maybe with some of the new upgrades, we might see some really wicked combos between like the nighttime, daytime stuff. So that might be why things are the way they are right now. Now, that being said, without these upgrades, her Night Frost still feels kind of bad, man. We're going to dodge through, charge it up. Now, if I did this in a better spot, I could totally have caught, like, a few guys all at once, right? Like, maybe the core and 2 tentacles because of how big that radius is. I'm just going to dodge these things for right now. And just like that, defense. And then we're going to skate through to avoid that artillery strike. And then we're going to go right in the middle. Boom. That's hit both of them. That's exactly what I was hoping to have happen. Moving away, shatter him. We could have totally avoided one of those big artillery things by using the power. But, you know, we were able to get around it anyway, so it doesn't really matter. Bad thing is I did get caught by him when I was getting a little close. Played it a little too dangerous. I will take a little bit of damage here, but it's worth it just to avoid some of that damage, right? Moving to this side, we're going to dodge this thing. With our special, it actually staggered that guy too, which is great. And even without the dual lances, I mean, her auto attacks are still doing good damage, right? We're going to need to move now. I was hoping to finish him before he actually hit us. Didn't pan out though. Throw it out now. We're going to shatter. Boom. Defense to avoid that one too. And then we get rid of him, and we will lay out her power ultimate. And you can see, I mean, it does decent damage, right? It's okay. It's not that much, though. Like, there's definitely, like, bigger damage I've seen from other people's ultimates that are basically the same thing. Like, the Pied Piper's Swarm of Rats. Like, that thing is essentially the same thing, right? You're rooted in place, and then you have a big, controllable AoE effect. And it does a lot of damage. And his does even more damage. So what is the benefit of her nighttime? It leaves Frost on the ground. Except, guess what? Every other ability I have right now during the nighttime effects leave Frost on the ground. So it's just not great. Alright, we didn't finish him, but that's going to be okay. He's a little out of range of our shatter, which is kind of a bummer, but we'll figure it out here in a moment. Dodging through. Just dodge his slap, get that skate. We're going to collect that right there. We need to get out of our skate because I can't avoid those things very well at all while I'm doing that. Dodging his attack like that. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, get ready to move around. And then what we're going to do is charge up one of these. Boom. Move now. Dodge that was our defense. Activate a shatter to try and avoid some damage too. And we're going to skate to get out of the big slap and start getting this guy. Unfortunately, I didn't actually catch him in the effect there, which kind of sucks. Oof. All right, here we go. Skate through him real quick, except I missed him again. Oh, just barely. All right. Now I would like to use the I would like to use her ultimate again, but I kind of want to save it for a daytime use. But maybe it would have been off cooldown by the time day came around. Oh, it's daytime now. Ah, shit. Boom. Lots of damage. Took a hit there, which is really unfortunate. And this is our last Raven Feather. Bummer. Here we go. We're going to dodge him with our defense and then skate to try and get out of all that crap. Activate a shatter now. Reapply chill so we can start auto attacking right away. That's the beauty of having that quest done and Dayfrost. Finish him there. Skate now onto this side. Shatter early and then start auto attacking. We're going to dodge some things. We will use our defense to avoid a slap just like that. But it staggered him, so we didn't even need it. Moving now. We're gonna use a shatter here to, nope, he was actually not frosted anymore, so bummer. Took a hit there, took another hit, that's real freaking bummer. Shatter, and then we're gonna full power. And the hailstorm waves were actually able to finish him off, which is fantastic. Now, when we get into the damage phase this time around, I want to use the, really gross. I want to use, god dang it, a full power, fully charged power right at the start, followed by an ultimate use, and see how much damage that's gonna do. All right, here we go. So full charge power, and he's gonna be frosted. Boom. Followed by that. Look how much more damage her ultimate does during the day. That's ridiculous. Did you see the difference? It was huge. Her nighttime frost ray needs to do the damage too. There's no need for that. That feels really bad. It feels really bad. There it is. Total time for the actual run was 20 minutes. We started at about the 15-ish minute mark, which is when we won the last time. Whatever. Yeah, well, that's it. That's Snow Queen. And that's some of my thoughts, some of my frustrations, you know, like between her day and night frost and some of the upgrades. We've now won with the Frost Queen, which is nice, but it was at a make or break. Like, was that a better choice than whatever the other thing was? Probably not, man. Like, I would have taken the defense dealing damage, which, I mean, that then gives you iframes and damage in a cone while applying chill effect. So I have a hard time thinking that even this being legendary is better than that. Though I will say it made her Dayfrost incredibly dangerous. Like, you could see how much more dangerous she was during the day. Yeah, I don't know, man. That's it. I'm done ranting. Thanks for watching, guys. I appreciate it. Take care.